Chapter 3 Decoration. After sharing a lunch in Marinette's room with the Kwamis, Adrian and Marinette made their way to the lounge room to start on the Christmas tree. "The tree is still in the box?" Adrian asked when he saw the tree box on the floor. There were 2 other boxes next to it. No doubt decorations. "We needed a new tree this year. That's why I'm a bit late getting it up. Can you pass me the scissors there?" Adrian passed the scissors over, and Marinette carefully opened the box, the tree's branches bursting out over the opening. "It's pink!" Adrian said in surprise. "I didn't know you could even get pink trees." "Actually, Papa wanted the blue one, but I chose the pink. Our last tree was white, but they started to turn a strange yellow color after a few years. So it's time for a new tree." Adrian watched on as Marinette took the tree out and expertly connected the pieces together. The mansion had always had the same green tree with gold and silver decorations that it had every year. It always looked like one of those trees you would find in a store window. Nothing personal or homey about it. When Adrian looked in the decorations box, there was an array of mismatched, mostly homemade decorations, each of which he was sure told a story. Marinette grabbed a small stepladder and started trying to unravel the lights. "Why do lights always end up a mangled mess?" she lamented. "I swear I put them away neat and tidy." "Here, let me hold it," Adrian offered, taking the top part of the lights from her and holding it near the top of the tree. She looked him up and down and he smirked at her. "What? It's not my fault you're vertically challenged." "Show off," Marinette grumbled playfully. Really, she loved how tall Adrian was. Once they managed to unravel the lights, and Marinette congratulated herself for not falling off the ladder, they started adding the ornaments and baubles. In a second smaller box, there were more baubles, but with names written on them. "Are these all your family?" he asked. "Yes," Marinette replied, picking up a bauble with her grandfather's name, Roland, written on it. Then an idea hit her. "Would you like me to make you one?" Adrian's mouth fell open. "You want to make me one?" he said, his voice full of amazement. Marinette felt her heart clench that he was clearly so touched by such a simple gesture. "Of course I do, Kitty," she said, stepping down off the ladder. "I told you last night. I consider you family. Come on, let's finish hanging these and I'll show you how I make them." Once the rest of the decorations were hung, Marinette took Adrian up to her room and got out her craft box, setting some newspaper down on her table. There were several different colored baubles and glitters left over. Adrian picked up an emerald green bauble and a sky blue one. "I like both of these." "Well, usually pale baubles like that are used for people who have passed away, like the one on the tree for my great-grandmother." Adrian looked at the baubles in the box thoughtfully before picking out a pale yellow one. "Do you think I could maybe make one for my mom?" Marinette patted his hand that was resting on the table. "Of course you can, Kitty. I'll make yours and show you what to do, and you can make the one for your mom. Would you like this emerald one for yours?" Adrian nodded and pulled up a chair next to Marinette. Following her lead, he carefully wrote out the name Emily on the bauble. Some of the Kwamis had come to sit around the table and watch what they were doing. Plaque found some cheese Marinette had left out for him and sat on the desk to enjoy it while Tiki ate a cookie. Marinette smiled to herself as she watched Adrian furrow his eyebrows and stick out his tongue in concentration. "You have beautiful handwriting." Adrian looked up from his work with a sad smile. "My mother taught me calligraphy when I was younger. She was very good at it. She was quite artistic, really." He put his pen down and let out a sigh. "I miss her and I guess I always will. But it would never make what my father tried to do right. She wouldn't have wanted that either. She would have wanted us to remember her for how she was and not preserved in glass like some kind of religious relic." He then looked at her, his emerald eyes glistening. "I never did thank you for being there with me at the funeral. If it hadn't been for you, Nino, and Alia." Marinette felt her heart break for him all over again, like it had the night everything came out and fell apart. Adrian had gone through so much pain in the last several weeks, none of which was deserved. Not only had he lost his mother, he had effectively lost his family. He might have been the wielder of destruction, but Adrian had always had one of the gentlest hearts Marinette knew. Marinette leaned across and kissed Adrian on the cheek, cradling his face with her hand. I will never leave you to be alone, my kitty. No matter what happens, I will always be here for you. Adrian's eyes softened as he looked at her. There was so much warmth in her eyes, and dare he hope, perhaps love was there too. Well, Marinette finally said, breaking eye contact and picking up the gold glitter pot. Shall we add the finishing touches? She passed him the silver glitter and tried to ignore the way her heart fluttered as their hands touched. Daisy tapped a hoof into some of the glitter as it fell onto the paper and inspected how it shimmered and shined in the light. It's so pretty. Ooh, Pollen and Dusu said in unison, gathering on either side. Don't tell me you've never seen this messy stuff before, Plag scoffed. You won't think it's so great when it gets stuck all over you. Not all of us have spent as much time out in the world as you have, Stump protested. Fluff crawled up on all fours, sniffing at the sparkling stuff. Marinette smiled as she watched the curious Kwami. Be careful there, Fluff. You wouldn't want to. Achoo! A fine spray of silver glitter blew across the table and straight over Plag and his camembert. Ah! You ruined my cheese, the cat bemoaned. Have you no respect for the gooey-centered goodness which is camembert? Meanwhile, Tikuyu was practically rolling over the table. Aw, but you look so pretty, Sticky Sock! She laughed at him. Plag folded his arms with a pout, flicking his tail around in annoyance, glitter flying onto the floor. Come here, grumpy cat, Adrian chuckled, using a small paintbrush to dust off the glitter from his Kwami. I want to look pretty too, Mulu squeaked before rolling around in the glitter. Look, I'm a Christmas ornament! Adrian laughed out loud, a ringing genuine laugh at the antics of the Kwamis. The cloud that started creeping in earlier had been completely swept away. Marinette watched him as he talked with the little magical beings, wishing she had been able to take a picture of them. Cleaning up the mess so the Kwamis couldn't get into any more mischief. Adrian and Marinette hung their creations from the duplicate tree. Tom came in and stood behind them, admiring their work. Well, it looks like you are now officially a Dupanchang, he announced, placing a hand on Adrian's shoulder. Maybe we'll just kidnap you and keep you here forever. You don't have to kidnap me to make me stay, Adrian replied, looking over to Marinette with a soft smile. Adrian, Marinette, Sabine called out before joining them in the lounge room. Oh, the tree looks lovely, dear, but you forgot the star on top. Marinette picked up the star from the box and went to grab the ladder when Adrian suddenly picked her up. She let out a squeak and looked at him with large eyes. Need a lift? He grinned, holding her up high. Marinette felt her cheeks heating up again. At this rate, it could turn into a blizzard and she would still be toasty warm with all the heat radiating off her. Reaching over, she placed the star on top and held onto Adrian's shoulders as he put her down, his hand supporting her waist. Both of them became caught up in each other's gaze, and neither saw the knowing looks Tom and Sabine gave each other. Your truffles are ready if you would like some afternoon tea, Sabine interrupted, clearly amused. The two teens suddenly realized how they were and quickly separated. Yeah, that would be lovely, Adrian said nervously, rubbing the back of his neck. Tom and Sabine both chuckled as they left the room, leaving the two blushing teens to follow behind them. End of Chapter 3.